Hello everyone, my name is Bethany Downer, and today I'd like to talk about some of the highlights and successes that led to the development and implementation of 4 global astronomy outreach projects as part of the International Astronomical Union 100th anniversary celebration, also known as IAU 100. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the IAU 100 project, this took place throughout 2019 and part of 2020, and it sought to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the International Astronomical Union by means of promoting astronomy and how it can be used as a tool for education, development, and diplomacy under a central theme, Under One Sky. So we really wanted this to be a global celebration, but to also bring a sentiment of togetherness and cooperation throughout the activities that were taking place. So we were aiming to involve the public in these celebrations through a variety of different activities and initiatives. None of this would have been possible if it were not for the various partners, sponsors, and organizational associates who made it happen. These are those that are listed there who are part of this fantastic network that facilitated the IAU 100 celebrations in 2019. Some of the impact numbers can be seen here. If you want to learn more, the IAU 100 report was published around this time last year. Over 5,000 activities, astronomy outreach projects were registered spanning 143 countries. So this also included a variety of regional projects, events that were registered as part of global projects, and we reached a wide range of people all around the world who joined together in this celebration of astronomy throughout 2019. And today I'd like to focus on the 10 global projects, and in particular 4 of them, which I had the sincere pleasure of coordinating. So I'd like to highlight some of the things that we learned and some of the things that led to their success, in case there are things that you could take from it if you're looking to develop an astronomy outreach project on a large scale. The first of these projects was the first global outreach project for IAU 100, and this was the 100 Hours of Astronomy, which took place across 100 hours in the middle of January in 2019, in which we invited people to conduct any type of astronomy outreach event to kick off the IAU 100 celebrations, to let them know about IAU 100, and this really started to ignite our community and to kickstart the celebrations that will be taking place throughout the year. These activities spanned 86 countries in total, and engaged directly event participants in the range of 500,000 people. Subsequently, the Moon Landing 50 project took place in July of 2019, and this corresponded with the 50th anniversary of the first steps on the moon that took place in 1969. So as the world, of course, came together to celebrate this exciting anniversary, we wanted to find a means of collecting and promoting and bringing awareness to the activities that were taking place around the world. There was not a global event calendar that was collecting all of the activities taking place worldwide for this anniversary celebration. So this is where Moon Landing 50 came in, as part of a global project for IAU 100. The third of the project I'd like to highlight today is that of the Astronomy Days in schools. So this initiative sought to invite scientists, including astronomers, as well as educators, science communicators, to go to their local schools and educate students in their communities about astronomy. So this sought to engage the local communities and was targeted towards students and younger individuals. And we succeeded in engaging and reaching out to approximately 100,000 students that spanned 70 countries around the world. And this project took place in November of 2019. And the fourth project I'd like to highlight is that of the Pale Blue Dot. This coincided with the 30th anniversary of the iconic Voyager 1 Pale Blue Dot image. And this took place in February of 2020. This was the final IAU 100 global project. This was the 10th and final one. And this took place to bring together the closing of IAU 100 with sentiments of togetherness, future thinking, and to highlight how astronomy can bring out sentiments of environmental stewardship. And we were able to garner participation in 51 countries for this particular project. So now I'd like to highlight on some of the ways that we think this project was particularly successful. So with my time today, I want to highlight some of the reasons we think the IAU100 global projects were successful. First of which was clear branding for each of these global projects, especially within the scope of IAU100, in which there were many different activities and initiatives taking place. It was helpful for each of the global projects to have their own theme, goals, as well as a visual. As you could see in the last slide, they each had their own designated theme and visual sense of branding, so that these could be used to help with our promotion and outreach and to designate this project amongst the many others that were taking place. Secondly, I really want to highlight the national node network of the IAU100. These individuals represented their own countries and regions within the IAU, but also the IAU100. It is through their activities that resources were disseminated, events were facilitated and organized, and they helped us to really represent IAU100 on regional scales. Without them, it simply would not have been possible. So when trying to organize large-scale astronomy outreach events, it's important to have designated nodes and contacts in the regions that you're trying to engage with. Thirdly, and I'll get into a bit more detail with this one, is the accessibility of resources and prizes. We wanted everything that we did to be accessible to the community for them to engage with. For example, we had different prize contests. One of them being for telescopes, for them to be sent telescopes that they could use for their events. We invited them to tell us why they wanted the telescope, how it could be used, not only for their designated event for IAU100 and the particular global event, but after IAU100 concluded, and what it would mean for their community and what impact it could have. We also, for example, organized an art contest as part of the Moon Landing 50 global project that targeted children to produce creative artwork that represented the themes of IAU100 in conjunction with the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And we wanted not only the accessibility and the means of applying for these prizes to be simple and low cost, but we also wanted to make resources readily available for all the event organizers, and they'll get into that shortly. I'll also touch on the importance of the considerations of equity, inclusivity, and diversity. This is something that we held true through all IAU100 activities, and we also wanted to find means of supporting the event organizers to make these considerations as well as they were organizing their events. For example, on this last point, we provided guidelines in a variety of domains, from how to include minorities, resources, and means of including those who have impairments, and considerations and guidelines for equity and inclusions on broader scales. These are some of the examples of resources that we would provide to our event organizers for all global projects so that they could organize their events in inclusive, diverse, and equitable means. We also wanted to collect a variety of free and readily available resources. So for example, this is a booklet of resources we created about the moon for the Moon Landing 50 project that was readily available. So this included everything from documentaries to examples of science projects that teachers could conduct with their children. We were looking for web resources that were helpful, a huge collection of hundreds of resources that event organizers could use and were free and accessible to them. We also sought to encourage the localization of resources. And by this I mean that we wanted resources to be able to be adapted for their respective communities. And something that was particularly effective was to provide event organizers with the source files for our visuals. This included our posters and our logos so that they could be translated. For example, the 100 Hours of Astronomy logo, like the one that's featured in the top left of this poster, was translated to more than 50 languages for the first IAU100 global project. This allowed the resources and the posters and the branding for each of these events to be localized and to be disseminated with their local communities, and for the participants to feel included, that their activity that was taking place as part of a global project was still localized and applied for them. I also highlight that the Above and Beyond exhibition was developed for IAU100, and this was something that was developed as much of a in-person exhibition in place, and we also had scaled down, readily available free versions of the content that people could use as well. So we wanted everything to be readily accessible and available to the event organizers as well as the national nodes to disseminate in their communities. So this was just a small insight into some of the things that we think IAU100 global projects successfully implemented, and I encourage you to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you very much.